Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the language of business. Today, we're diving into a report from Enterprise Financial Services, and let me tell you, there are some boardroom decisions that might make you raise an eyebrow. We're talking about directors stepping down, board sizes shrinking, and the future direction of the company. Buckle up, it's going to be an interesting ride. The main takeaway: several directors are leaving and the board is getting smaller. This could signal a shift in strategy or a streamlining of operations. Let's get into the details. This report is called an 8K. It's like a business news flash, and this one is dated February 20, 2025, which tells us about some important events that happened around that time. The company we're talking about is Enterprise Financial Services Corp. They're registered in Delaware and have a file number and tax ID, but those details aren't really important for our purposes. Their main office is in St. Louis, Missouri. If you ever want to send them a letter, that's the address. They have a phone number too, but we don't need to call them today. This part is just legal stuff about whether they're following all the rules and regulations, things like making sure everyone has proper information when something changes. They have different types of stock. Some are called common stock and others are depository shares. These stocks are traded on the Nasdaq Global Select Market under the symbols EFSC and EFSCP. That's where you can buy and sell them. Now we get to the meat of the report. At a board meeting on February 20, 2025, they decided who they want to be in charge of the company going forward. They thought about how big the board should be, what skills the board members have, and what the company's plans are for the future. The company has what they call a nominating and governance committee. Their job is to look at the board, see if there are any new skills or experiences they want to add, and come up with a long-term plan for who should be on the board. Here's the big news: Robert Guest, James Havel, Daniel Rodriguez, and Alois Schmitz will not be up for re-election at the next meeting. That means they're leaving the board when their terms end. They will also step down from the board of directors of Enterprise Bank and Trust, which is a subsidiary of Enterprise Financial Services. Because of these changes, the board is shrinking. It will go from 15 members down to 11. This could mean the company wants to be more efficient or that they're changing the way they make decisions. This section lists some additional documents related to the announcement. This includes a press release with more details and some technical information for those who really want to dig deep. You can see here there is a press release dated February 21, 2025, which will likely contain more information about these changes. These are usually more high-level and PR-driven. Finally, the report is signed by Troy Dumlow, who is the Executive Vice President and Chief Accounting Officer. This means he's responsible for making sure the financial information is accurate. Now let's analyze what this all means for the future of the company. These changes at Enterprise Financial Services could signal several things. On the one hand, reducing the board size can streamline decision-making and potentially make the company more agile, more flexible. On the other hand, losing experienced directors like Guest, Havel, Rodriguez, and Schmitz could create a knowledge gap. It really depends on who they bring in to replace them. It seems the company has a plan in place to address these changes. The board is focused on strategic and operational priorities and also planning for retirements. This is not necessarily a bad thing. It is more so a sign of them keeping up with the pace. It is also good to replace experience with perhaps a new set of eyes from people from the outside. However, we can see what happens, and so we are taking a slightly bearish stance for now. Enterprise Financial Services seems to be going through a transition. A reasonable price target for EFSC might be in the range of $35 to $40, depending on how the market reacts to these changes and the company's future performance. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, please subscribe to Corporate Decoder for more easy-to-understand analysis of corporate filings.